Hey, how's it going, Gunslingers? And welcome back to another summary for Red Dead Redemption 2 Part 10 today. And let's just begin. So the first mission we did was a Micah mission, I believe, and we were at camp and we're going to go talk with Micah. And he's saying that Pearson, I guess the camp cook or butcher, has some news about the O'Driscolls. But we're waiting for Dutch to get back. So whenever Dutch gets back, Micah tells Pearson to talk to Dutch about what he's found out about the O'Driscolls. And apparently, Pearson was talking with the O'Driscolls whenever they cornered him somewhere and saying they want to make a peace or parlay with each other so they can just put the past in the past. And obviously Dutch and Arthur are like, this looks like a setup. Why would they want to start making peace with each other? Why would we do that? And Micah is saying, well, maybe we should put the past in the past. And then Pearson's just saying what they told him. And we're like, okay. But Arthur is going to be looking from afar. That's like a sniper. And Micah and Dutch are going to be talking with Colm whenever they go meet up with him. So we ride out together. Me, Dutch, and Micah go riding out to this like cliff area. I get out off my horse, go to the cliff and get set up for the meetup. They go down there and they meet up with Colm and some of his boys. And they're talking and stuff. And it looks like it's going well and whatnot until Colm makes a little smirk towards Dutch. And then it cuts to me back on the cliff. And I get a stock of a gun like right in my face, knocks me out. And then it's shown Arthur being taken by some of the O'Driscoll boys like on a horse. And then later to a camp where I then try to escape, but then they catch up to me. Next thing I know, I wake up in I think like a cellar or some sort of basement area. I'm upside down. I also have a shotgun shot in my arm. I got shot with a freaking shotgun or some kind of gun. And so I'm hanging upside down and I'm just dripping out with a bag over my head kinda. And Colm comes in there, asks me why I'm still hanging out with Dutch and stuff and running around with his crew whenever I could be going with Colm and making a lot more money. And Arthur's like, it's not for the money. And I get beat up a little bit more by Colm and stuff with like a stock of his revolver. And then he goes outside and I cut myself free with a file after I like swing back and forth from the wherever I'm being hung from. Basically sneak out of there, get my stuff, and head back to the camp with my like red PJ things. I'm pretty sure I passed out on my horse, but I make it back to camp. And they tend to my wounds even though I did the best I could whenever I was in the cellar with like a hot file thing to get the bullet out. And some candle wax he used to close up his wound, I guess, a little bit. But then when he got back to camp, they doctored him up a little bit better. Also, before we went on the little mission with Micah and Dutch to the meetup with Colm, I was thinking it was a setup, and I was trying to tell Dutch, but then whenever Micah and Pearson just kept on stirring in his head, I guess, he just went ahead and met with him, obviously. And when I get back, after my injuries and stuff and being kidnapped, basically, I'm like, dude, I told you it was a setup. So something is going on with Colm's and one of our guys, I suppose. So after all that, this is like a couple weeks after I've been kidnapped and got back to the camp and got doctored up and stuff. On my way to go meet Bill, Sean, and Micah and Rose to go talk to some of the Greys at a saloon, I see an interesting thing happen with a carriage, which is like a glitch type of thing. And I thought that was really funny. But after that, we get to town of Rhodes, meet up with the guys, and we're walking and stuff, talking about what's going to happen. And then I get baffled when I see Sean's head get blown off his shoulders. Sean is dead now, and that is freaking crazy. I had to take a second to register that, because that was just not expected whatsoever. And we didn't really know Sean all that well, but we've done a couple missions with him, but now he's just freaking gone. And that was crazy. So that sparked up a whole shootout through the whole entire town with a bunch of Grey people. That went on for a second, and then eventually we got to the sheriff office, which is where Bill was being held by the sheriff and some of his little Grey friends. Whenever he came out, we shot him dead along with his companions. But Bill came out, and him, Micah, and me walked away after the whole shootout thing. So Arthur is starting to think this is a setup again, since it just happened not too long ago with another bad altercation with the O'Driscolls and now the Greys. And then after that whole thing with the Greys in the town of Rhodes, me and Micah get into it a little bit, and then it fast forwards into me basically grieving for Sean, since I didn't expect him to go, obviously. But right after this, we get back to camp, and we realize that something else has happened, which is Jack has gone missing. The little boy we went fishing with not too long ago. And I believe Kieran, one of the guys that we took from the O'Driscolls, and he said he saw some of the Braithwaites take Jack. And so we're livid. I am, at least, because I freaking love Jack. And all the guys in the camp are basically going to the Braithwaite's manor where Catherine Braithwaite is to go get Jack back. So yeah, it's just about all the guys, Dutch, me, Micah, John, Charles, Bill, all the guys in the camp are just going to the Braithwaite's manor, and they're all out there. Most of them are on the porch and stuff, like just securing the whole manor. And eventually some people come out, but not the ones we want to see. And so Dutch begins it, we start shooting at each other, and it just becomes a shootout at the manor. This goes on until we actually get inside the manor, look around in the house for other people, and start shooting at them. We're trying to look for Catherine Braithwaite to see what she's doing. We eventually get to her and we take her from the inside of the house and go outside and basically tell her that we killed all of her sons and she's gonna be next if she doesn't tell us where Jack is. So she finally tells us that some guy named Angelo Bronte took Jack, and now I thought we were just gonna kill her right then and there, but we don't. She just like stays there. Mind you, we are torching her whole entire manor. Her house is in flames. She has nothing now. And I'm like, this is why we needed to kill her, because she's probably got some crazy revenge thing scheming up now. And we're gonna see her later in the game. And if we don't, I will be surprised. But I mean, why would we keep her alive? Why would we keep her alive? She's literally the brains of the whole Braithwaite operation. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, this Bronte guy is supposed to be set up in Saint Denis, which is a town that I recently found out about. It's a city, not even a town. Like Valentine and Rhodes those are towns. Saint Denis is a city. There's a lot of scum crap going on. It's basically a European town. So while we're talking about going to Saint Denis and finding Jack, we get a little visit from the Pinkerton detective guys coming into our camp, and they're basically saying that Dutch needs to turn himself in, all this other stuff, and next time that they come out here they're gonna be killing us to get Dutch. So basically, get out now while you can. And we're ready to just fuck them up, but we don't know why. There's only 2 of them, and they said if they come back there's gonna be 50 of them. Bruh, we can take you. Don't catch me lacking. You're not gonna. Anyway, besides that whole altercation happened, so that basically told us we need to move. So after that, I tell Dutch that there was a place that me and Lenny went to, which was Shady Belle, and that is basically where we're staying at now. So we moved all of our stuff from the camp in Clemens Point to Shady Belle now. So after clearing out Shady Belle, we decided to go into Saint Denis to go look for this Angelo Bronte person. We asked around in some saloon, and apparently there's some kids that know about him, and there was a whole altercation with some kids taking our money, and so we tracked him down, chased after him, not really tracked him down, chased him for a good while, and then whenever he finally told us where we can find Bronte, we got back with Dutch and John to go meet up at Bronte's house area. And he's like an Italian tough man mafia type of person, and he's like, oh yeah, you can have Jack back, but you should do a little mission for me. And so me and John go set a little thing that he had with some grave robbers or something, do that, and then come back to Bronte's place where he gives up Jack, and me, Dutch, John, and Jack go back to camp. Well, not back to camp, but back to Shady Belle, and just celebrate that we got Jack back. Nothing's bad happened now. He was actually treated a lot better than what we did with him. He said he had spaghetti, he was learning Italian words, he actually had the time of his life being kidnapped. So that was kind of interesting. And John kind of felt bad because he had this great experience with this bad guy compared to how he's been with John. So that might be a whole character development thing. So once Jack is back and we're at Shady Belle and we're having a grand old time, I go to sleep. And I wake up and there's a Mary Beth mission. So before talking with Mary Beth, we actually got a letter from Mary, which is Arthur's person, talking about how she needs help from us again. And this time we might actually help her because I guess she's important to Arthur's story. And we're talking with Mary Beth about Mary and stuff and my past lover or whatever. But we get interrupted by this other woman. I'm pretty sure her name is Susan, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'll probably look it up later. But she comes to us while we're talking to Mary Beth and tells us that Tilly, one of our other women of our camp, has been taken from, I believe, that guy that we met near the saloon in Valentine. This was like episode 1 or I think episode 2, whenever we saw this guy like cornering Tilly in an alleyway, and she's been taken by that guy. So me and Susan, I believe, go and find where she was taken and shoot the bad guys. But then she said the main guy that really took her, some guy named Anthony, ran off. And me and Susan go catch him, tie him up, and bring him back, and basically have Tilly decide what to do with him. She doesn't really care what we do with him, just handle him. And I mean, at first I did want to kill him, obviously, but then he kind of like said he would stay away forever or whatever. So the way he made that come off, I'm like, okay, we scared him enough, we don't have to kill him and stuff. But obviously if he does it again, he's done. Another thing that kind of tempted me not to do it is Susan, or whatever her name is, told me that if it was her, she would cut his throat. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not you. Stop telling me what to do, type shit. So I let him go, and hopefully he doesn't come back or anything. And everyone else is dead that was along with Anthony, so that probably scared him good enough. And that is the majority of what happened in part 10 of Red Dead Redemption 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this summary. And yeah, if you want to watch the actual part, there's a lot of other things that I didn't really touch upon, but I just touched on the main missions. There's a lot of little goofy things, or like little side things that happen, which is kind of funny, or just like those little gray dots, like if I ran into a couple of Level 1 raiders on a train and some other things. But yeah, definitely go check out that part 10, and I'll see you in the next summary. See you later, cowpoke.